Just on
sign
here.
of the cross one?
Yeah, we'll just do it here. Yeah, let's do the sign of the cross story because we could cut that up into a clip later too. Judo champion banned.
Whoa, you gotta be careful.
Judo
mixed martial arts.
I mean, if we don't get in trouble for what we've said so far. I don't think saying judo is going to be a problem. Judo champion is banned for 5 months for making the sign of the cross when he competed at the Olympic Games. Judo champion has been left floored by a decision to suspend him for 5 months after he made the sign of the cross while taking part in this year's Olympic Games. So they have their Olympic ceremony where they mock the Last Supper, and this judo champion goes in and he goes like this and he gets suspended.
The International International Judo Federation.
It's over. It's all over, boys.
People are making their I'm not usually a fan of puns, but that's a funny pun.
It's all over.
Okay, so Serbian athlete Nemanja Majdov, 28, was told by the International Judo Federation
Serbian, just like Croatia.
He has been banned from competing until early next year.
Crypto, what the?
Crypto, my only question to you, sir, is what do you do for a living? Or ma'am, I don't know.
How much should I put in Bitcoin right now? But come on.
No, this is not even, I mean, this is unbelievably generous of you, man. We are so grateful.
Very much so.
All right, so that he's been banned from competing until early next year, including for having shown a clear religious sign when he entered the field of play in breach of organization's rules. Footage of Majdov shows the athlete openly making the sign of the cross at the Olympics held this year in Paris. Now, just
Serbians
weeks later,
did it backwards.
Now, just weeks later, he has received a suspension from them. Posting his thoughts on the decision on Instagram, he said he was sorry that such a beautiful and difficult sport like judo has fallen to such. Good for him. He didn't apologize. Good for him.
He's Serbian. He doesn't know how.
For him. He was, however, unapologetic for having made the sign of the cross and plans to return to the sport later next year. Speaking about his Christian faith, Majdov, who has included several photographs of himself on Instagram, clasping his hands together in prayer before competing, said, "The Lord has given me everything, both for me personally and for my career, and he is number one for me, and I am proud of that, and that will not change under any circumstance. Glory to him, and thanks for everything."
Let's go.
Slow clap, my brother.
He's the European
legend for not apologizing. What a beautiful, beautiful response to this.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Man. His post stated, 15 days ago, I received a decision that I was suspended for 5 months by the World Judo Federation for violating their religious codes. More precisely, because of making the sign of the cross when entering a match at the Olympic Games. I was banned from participating in all tournaments, camps, and preparations. True, in the defense letter of the disciplinary proceedings, I did not want to apologize, and of course I did not, nor will I ever, although I did not even know what the punishment could be. The Lord has given me everything for me, and he repeats that whole statement. Nothing new for me personally, just a new page in my career and a new life experience. I'm sorry that such a beautiful and difficult sport like judo has fallen to such things. Man, that is such an awesome way to wrap this show up, man.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of reminds me of Butker over here, just like not apologizing and just saying, look, there should be no reason you're freaking out, because it's like, if Muslims were doing this, if the Amish were doing this, no one would bat an eye. They wouldn't.
That's true too, right? And Butker, good for him too, man. He caught, because that backlash was harsh on him. He got clobbered, and he did not only did he not back down, he gave another talk after that and reiterated everything he said. From what I hear, he's going to start speaking publicly.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Butker podcast.
I don't think the secular world is aware or ready for like just the backlash that is really coming. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that in a violent way. I just mean like,
I think it'll be violent eventually.
I think especially racially in parts of Europe, yes, there will be violent backlash. But yeah, I just don't think the world understands just how fed up.
Yeah. Okay.
We are with it all.
look, oh man, this is because Europe is going through the beginnings of what their chastisement will be. God is going to use their betrayal of him. All these people. All right. So Francis 2016, you cannot enter eternal life by any entryway that is not the door. That is not Jesus. Maybe your interpretation of him is incorrect. He never said all are equal paths.
My question is, why do you have to go to a quote 8 years ago?
No, and not just that. If you take in context everything he's been saying, and that's what we started the show off saying, right? This is what Trent said. This is just a throwaway comment, but he reiterates and doubles down the next day. And then you take into account the Abu Dhabi statement about all religions are willed by God. And then you take into account every single time he goes and meets with an imam when he goes to the Middle East. Now, I'm not saying his intentions. He may just be going thinking we have to settle down all these religious tensions. We have all these Muslims coming into Europe. We have to be able to coexist peacefully with one another and just have religious dialogue. I think his intentions are there, right? But you're the Pope. You're the Pope. You don't get to do that. You have a duty to feed the sheep. He is basically the Pope to the world and not to the Catholic faithful. And it's really difficult for most Catholics at this point because we're over here trying to convert people to the church. And he's making it like there's nothing unique about being Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what's the point? What's the point?
I
don't see why, like, as he said here, I murdered someone yesterday, but 8 years ago I said murder is wrong. Please interpret. I agree. Tired of Pope splaining and need some Trump splaining. Trump promised to fight anti-Semitism and separately promised to outlaw usury. So funny. After credit just makes sense. Oh, that's great.
That's top tier.
Favorite.
That is awesome.
That's my favorite comment of the night.
that comment.
That's my favorite comment of the night. Hey, look. I support Trump, but I don't support all the stuff that he supports.
No, I agree. Look, that's why we're saying, that's why we took issue with the way Trent framed it, right? Because Trent framed it as if we were saying Francis is trying to destroy the church. None of us are saying that. Yeah. None of us are saying like I'm trying to
at some point you got to take him at his word though.
Yeah, I'm trying
right?
to.
We're not making any assumptions here.
So Europe is going to receive a divine chastisement, allowing. Look, Francis could say whatever he wants about this interreligious dialogue, and we all got to live peacefully. They're going to get their jihad moment, and it's just going to be like a switch. And they invited the hordes into their own lands. It's going to be catastrophic for them, and it should be, because you can't separate Catholicism from Europe. Like, Christian history is European history. Mm-hmm. Europe is developed through the church. The church and Europe are inseparable. Even after the Reformation, there's something inseparable about the church and Europe. They are Christendom. So their betrayal is going to be horrific, what they go through, right? Over here, it's going to be I think it's going to start with the rainbow stuff, because they have found a way to make love into hate. In other words, the Christian message of love is now hate in their eyes. And whenever you hear people talk about American values in the public, right? Anytime you hear a politician talk about American values, what do they mean by that? They mean the rainbow stuff. So once they can say, look, if you're speaking about marriage being only between one man and one woman, that is a hateful statement, and you are a bigot. And you see the seeds of that have been going on for 25 years over here, but it's eventually going to get to the point where your hateful rhetoric must be stopped, and they'll start talking about any Christian the way they talk about MAGA in general, and it will become a severe persecution eventually.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend, but Tim Walz got in a lot of trouble because Tucker Carlson he put it up on his show, but he was going over comments of his where he was saying that if you say anything that we would consider to be hate speech, you need to have fines. You need to have your internet accounts taken away from you. And it's like, okay, this is a real situation where we're entering in, guys, where back in 2014, the weirdo leftists on campus, they were on campus, but now we've progressed to the point where these guys have influenced people who are running for political office, and don't think that they won't enact some type of thing.
I mean, look at the UK.
Look at the UK, look at Brazil when it comes to Twitter. It's like they shut down Twitter and they say we don't want any of that there. Communists will always shut down whatever can impede their revolution. And so don't fall into this mythology that just because we're here in the United States, everything will be fine in the end. Like that's not going to happen. In reality, if bad people get into office, they will come after us in one way or another.
I mean, we saw in New Hampshire a couple of days ago, the feds went to a guy's house for a post he made on Twitter.
Exactly.
That was a couple of days ago.
Now, to be fair, they read it as a threat against someone. You know, like it's not quite the same, but
I should have brought it up though. I don't know if you guys saw also over the weekend, the Vermont police, they had to bust up this large underground conference that was going on of the quote MAPS
the
community.
Yeah,
the MAPS community.
I'm surprised they broke it up in Vermont.
Exactly. I guess there's still some sane people there, but it's like the point is just this stuff will always continue because at the end of the day, it's like Satan hates the Catholic Church. He wants to destroy it. And so we should not think that the way he destroys it is just like, okay, we can't, have a Catholic nation, we're just regulated to a secular realm. No, it's like he, in his perfect worldview, would love to just kill all of us, right? It's only the hand of God that protects us. So in the meantime, he'll do whatever he can to shut us up, throw us in jail, etc.
Boondocks, MAP stands for
minor attracted persons.
I couldn't even bring myself to say it.
Yeah. It's a commie gaslighting word for, let's just say it, another word that begins with a P.
Brandon says he lives in New Hampshire. Also, New Hampshire is super woke. So I go snowboarding in New Hampshire. It's weird because they're this weird libertarian state where they have this like libertarian project going on there, and they have a lot of weird freedoms, but they're also super woke. I've gotten thrown out of ski resorts because I didn't have masks on during the coof, and it's like it really is a strange place.
It's such a shame because the Northeast is so pretty. It is so pretty. It's such a shame.
It's gorgeous. New England is amazing. So my friend wants to join the church, but is shocked by the infighting. There's only one unanswerable argument against Christianity. Yeah, no, listen. Sam Shimon was just in here saying, which Christian sect should I, which Catholic branch should I join? The point is not to that's always the difficulty here, right? Because you don't want to go down the rat trap road so much that you're hating on the Pope all the time. We try not to do that. We try to just understand this from the average Catholic layperson's point of view and just say, look, this is what it is, and we're just in a time of the unknown at this moment. I would say just as easily, I have a friend that wants to come in but sees the confusion that from the statements Francis is making. So yeah, there is some infighting, right? None of us said anything uncharitable about those guys tonight. Maybe a little bit. Maybe we could have been more charitable to Lofton. Lofton and I have a little bit of an enmity between us. Trent,
you called him gay. That's unforgivable.
I didn't call him gay. I said what he was doing was gay. There's a difference. I said stop. It's gay. I didn't call him gay. He's not gay.
He's a little gay sometimes.
He's not. No,
fake and gay.
I'm not saying he's homosexual.
I'm not. There's
a difference between being gay and homosexual.
Yeah, come on.
And even the thing with Trent, I genuinely like Trent. He's a good guy. He's come on our show. He's gone out of his way to be good to me. I'm addressing his arguments. There's a difference. Like, we should be able to address each other's arguments without that meaning that's infighting, right? Like, you can't say Trent said this thing and I'm not allowed to respond to it. Trent responds to people all the time. Right. It's not gay. It's just gay.
It's not gay. It's gay.
Trent has put clips of Gabby after hours and criticized Gabby. He's criticized Tim Gordon. You're allowed to criticize each other without that being infighting. It's just, hey, this is what he said. This is my take on what he's saying there. That's all.
And it's like, if he's going to come out and basically say everyone who's like criticizing Pope Francis is calumniating him. So calumny being, we're saying that he said something that he didn't say, or accusing him of something he didn't do.
A sin he didn't do. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. It's like, no, we're not. We're quoting him and saying, yo, how do you square this with literally any of the sacred tradition?
Well, it looks like this was a good show. I think
do you know how many views we have so far?
How many?
3,000.
Hey, let's go.
All right, guys, while you're here, go visit our store. We have you accepted Mary as your personal mother and intercessor shirts to troll the prots a little bit. You want to go to your local parish and troll some Protestants.
Crypto. Man, we love you, Crypto.
Does he mean like Norm as in Norm MacDonald? Because if
Rob
so, that's a
and
big
Norm,
compliment.
and having a Norm is very rare. No, Norm from Cheers.
Oh, no, from that's a compliment too. That I
Norm
will
from
take
Cheers.
that.
Hey, everybody knows your name. Norm. That's what I think he meant. Norm from Cheers. Also, we are on locals typically. We're not going to do it tonight because Nick has to fly and I have to wake up early.
Norm from Cheers.
Yeah, Norm from Cheers. I have to get up early for work tomorrow. I have a early start tomorrow. If you guys are not already, please subscribe, hit like. It was very nice seeing a lot of new people in the chat tonight, and we will be back here on Tuesday. We're going to try and get some new guests on. We're going to try and do some new things on the channel. So thank you guys for joining us. And Rob, take us out.
It sucks that Gordon got Sungenis on. That would have been cool to get Sungenis on first. Because now we have to wait like a month or two.
Yeah, we'll wait a little bit. And I want to also get what's his name? Gideon on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get Gideon on, and then we'll get Sungenis on, and but our show will be unique from Tim's, and we do have some shared audience with Tim, but I think we have our own unique. I think a lot of people would rather see us interview Sungenis than Tim. You know,
there'll be smaller words.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to go rewatch The Principal before we get him on, though. But all right, guys, we will see you guys on Tuesday.
Adios.